their pride and ego and like that, they could not ask for help. They can't do it.
Have taken the word selfishness and placed all these negative like connotations to it, when I don't, not like you, and I don't value money more than I do my family.
Yeah.
What do you think about selfishness?
For me,
welcome back to the dumbest guy in the room. Your host, Bill McDale, and soon to be, hopefully, get the ball rolling, my co-host, Eddie Carroll. It's going to be a little work in progress here because, he's got a lot going on. But gradually, I'd like to, we were talking about, I'd like to bring him on and have you on almost all the time.
yeah.
I think it'll be fun, dude.
Same. Yeah, it'll be a good time.
It is. I kind of been, Mike can't do it all the time. And I like the three people. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I feel like it keeps the conversation going. And it just gives a lot of different perspectives. I definitely don't like it when it's just me.
Right.
I don't like that, dude. That's terrible. But hey, man, happy New Year, 2022. I'm trying to go into this year positive and taking the positives out of every negative. I'm just trying to look for the good in everything and try to stop talking about all that negative stuff, dude.
Yeah.
Which is going to get me into this, dude, something I've been thinking about, selfishness in general. I don't know about you, dude, but like growing up and just my whole life, I always looked at selfishness as like this, a bad thing, like that you're doing something that is, not for everybody else, and you're just focused on yourself, and that it's not a good thing to do that.
Right.
And I've been thinking about it lately, and I don't really agree with that anymore. So I want to get your opinion on it, dude, because I haven't really talked to anybody else about it. So when I'm talking to myself in my head, I can go, I can get that tinfoil hat back on when I'm in my head with myself. So what do you think about selfishness?
For me,
what do you think about selfishness?
For me, I mean, obviously, you said like it's changed drastically over the years. Growing up, like, I wouldn't say I was selfish. Like, I helped out people close to me. You know what I mean? The Voses, you know what I mean? Fat Dan, Bolin, like, I would always lend a hand. But like I was definitely 100% like selfish, like growing up, especially once I got a little older, like wrapped up into the drugs and shit. Like I only cared about myself. And if I was helping somebody, there was always a different motive. Like, okay, if I help this person, what am I going to get out of it? And if not right then, what can I get out of it later? You know what I mean? Like that thought was always in the back of my head of like how I'm going to make out in this deal that I'm making. And how can I make it feel genuine, that I'm just doing it out of the kindness of my heart. Meanwhile, in the back of my head, I'm like, am I going to get drugs from this person, money, a ride, or whatever it may be. But now it's like, all like that selfishness, like especially once I got clean, all that selfishness is like going out the window. It's more so like I try and go out of my way to help other people and be respectful and polite. And especially now with the kid, it's like you don't have time. Like that's not, being selfish isn't really an option. I mean, some people are with kids, but for me, it's I just can't. Like, everything I do is for him and for like our family. Like, you know what I mean? Like how like you're doing put down in South Carolina, like you made this big move. It wasn't for you. It was for the betterment of your family, for that family unit to be happy, healthy, and prosper in a different location.
Yeah, no, I would agree. And so when you look at it like that, right? Like, so The, when you say that when you were doing drugs and drinking and doing things, with the intention of getting something in return, you're like, I was a selfish person. But if you go back to that moment, I don't, do you think in that moment, that's what you were thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would always be like premeditated. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
going to like a keg and like, oh, fuck that. I gotta go walk to 7-Eleven to go grab a Dutch. Oh, I got one in my pocket. Here you
Target.
go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, let me hit on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm getting high for free.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine that, right? Because, and it could just be my memory, because I know my memory is like almost terrible. That I was just talking to Mazzetti today. We were texting each other, and I was like, dude, I don't know if like my memories are even like my memories at this point, or they're
Right.
just like the stories you told me, and I
Right.
just take them as this is actually happened in my life,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I don't really remember much, especially when it comes to intention.
Early on, I remember a lot.
I don't remember anything, bro.
The
It's hard for me to go back at
so
like at
from like
all, especially when it comes to intention.
sophomore year to like 25 is just like blur.
That's
I,
definitely a blur for me.
I remember bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Um, like if you were gonna be like, oh yeah, remember that time? Like you would have to go into such like vivid detail to like paint a picture for me to trigger something because like I don't really remember much.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm the same way there.
like I was just so wrapped up in like that lifestyle to where like me and you like we're fucking turning up on a fucking Tuesday
Uh-huh.
just because people
There's
got
nothing
work.
better to,
Like we're just like, what? Let's go fucking grab a case of beer and just destroy this freaking. And we would always get like Ice House or something because it had more percent alcohol and it was cheap.
Ice House or Lions Head if we didn't have enough for
Yeah,
Ice House. I was actually talking to the I won't say his name because I don't know if he wants me to say his name. My boss at State Farm.
yeah,
I was like, "Do you ever have a lion?" We're the same age. And he's like,
yeah.
"You ever have a Lion's Head?" He's like, "No, what is that?" I guess they didn't have that down here. He's like,
No,
we were like bush people. I'm like, all right,
yeah,
that makes sense, y'all.
yeah.
You know what I
They're
mean?
Bush like friggin' Paps.
Budweiser
Yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah, just straight rednecks, dude.
yeah.
Straight rednecks, just fucking. What do they call it? I don't know. I forget
It
what
was
they were.
always it was always motive behind the
Intention,
yeah,
right?
and the good intention. There was always motive behind it at that time.
Right.
Now like I just do things because like that's what you're supposed to do type shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, yeah. So
You're supposed to be a good person. You're supposed to, oh, thank you. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Like that type of stuff. Like
respect.
you're supposed to be like that. You're not supposed to be a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Right.
not supposed to be doing things to get something out of it. It's just like that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to help your fellow man or woman. And even if it's like you're going out of your way, like they need your help. Like if they asked for your help, like go help them. And then don't expect anything in return. Like if they're asking for help, they're down bad. Like because a lot of people now I feel like more so people ask for help, but like growing up, like especially like my dad's generation, like our parents' generation, they didn't ask for help for nobody.
You don't ask help.
Their pride and ego and like that they could not ask for help. They can't do it.
You know why I can't ask for help, dude? I used to be able to ask for help a lot. And at first, when I couldn't ask for help, I had to do a lot with pride because I just wanted to show I could
Yeah.
do this myself.
Yeah.
But now, dude, it's honestly like there's like three people I go to, and I won't name any, names, but like there's like three people that I go to if I need something
Yeah.
because I just know that the answer is going to be no,
Right.
or I can't do it, or yeah. And then the day comes and it's like, so this happened, this came up, and I'm like, all right. So like it comes down to like I'm just tired of being let down. So I just don't expect anything from anyone.
Yeah.
But there are like you, and I'm not going to go any further than that because I'm talking to you. But I have Like Kristen's dad's a great example. That dude literally would drive down here if I called him.
Yeah.
Right now, he would drive down here, dude. If I was like, yeah, I need you to change this light bulb.
Right.
Like, I'm on my way, dude. I'm taking off from work. He would be here, dude.
Yeah.
Like dead serious. He would be here in a heartbeat. He moved me down here, South Carolina, just me and him. Packed the truck. He drove the truck, unpacked the truck. This little tiny man, you know what I mean? Old little tiny man. Dude, but how, like, I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah.
But, and that's where I'm going with selfishness, right? Because he's a great, and I'll use him as an example since I brought up, like, he's a great human being. He's a great human being. But how you're talking about with like your dad and like that generation.
Yeah.
You'll never see him be like the emotional type. Like,
Right.
before he like says thank you, he's gonna fucking rip me.
Right.
You know, like before he says like anything that has to deal with emotion, he's gonna just fucking kill you with jokes. Or just murder you with jokes. But you know what I know what he means. I know what you mean, Bill. You ain't tricking me, buddy. But in a way, right? Like that makes him feel good inside, right? When he does those things. So even though he's helping me, right?
No.
Isn't that a selfish thing to do when you do things even to help somebody to make yourself feel better? So when I say that, I think that we as a society have taken the word selfishness and placed all these negative like connotations to it, when I don't think that there's anything in this world that is just negative. Does that make it? Like, I think everything can be flipped to its opposite, but we don't allow it to do that as a society. And we label these things as good and bad. For another example, like my health now to me is important. I just set up a like a punching bag and the speed bag,
right.
I'm getting my weight bench. But like, if I go and lift, I'm taking time away from maybe helping Kristen with something with the kids or putting dinner away, or like I'm being selfish by focusing on myself in that moment. But if I don't do that and don't focus on my health and focus on me, I might not be here tomorrow for you.
Yeah. I mean, like, so
you get what I'm saying? Like,
I do get what you're saying. But like at the same time, like, I guess that's kind of where like selflessness comes into play. Yeah, you feel good like doing those things, but I don't have to, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like
you're right.
Being like that, like the selflessness of helping somebody. Yeah, like I feel good, even if like I just do it, like you don't say thank you or you don't say like whatever. And for me, like it makes me feel better. And like you said, like the weights and stuff like that. Like I told Eleni, like I have to do certain things for me for us.
Correct.
Like
that's where I'm getting
with,
at.
with the meetings and stuff like that, or therapy or whatever it may be, taking time out of my day to work on myself.
Thank you.
For either my physical health, my mental health, like whatever it is, because like, God forbid, if I ever do go back down that road, I told her from the beginning when we first started dating, if I ever relapse, whatever, run.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm going to destroy you.
Yep.
I'm going to destroy everybody and everything in my way.
So don't you think that selfishness has a part to play in everybody's life, and it should? And people that say they're not selfish are possibly missing the self, right? Like they're like
either that or like they're just not understanding the bigger picture of it. Like I
never did, dude. Like this is just something. This is kind of new to me. This is new to me that when I was thinking about it. But like I've been noticing that when I'm focusing on the details of today, like my day, right? And I'm focusing on that, and I'm not sitting worrying about the future by dwelling on what's already happened. But I'm not doing that. My
Right.
life is on it goes this way. I'm progressing. Right.
Yeah.
My life is getting better. But then when it's going like this,
Right.
like if I look to my right and my left, there's my wife and kids.
Yeah.
They're coming with me.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm leaving them behind anymore.
Right.
Right. Like the things I do that are selfish are more thought out in a way that's like, this is healthy for all of us if I do this long term.
Yeah. If you don't take care of yourself,
Then I can't take care of you.
then you're hurting yourself.
It's like the airplane, right? When
And then like that, like negative energy is going to project out onto them. They're going to feel it. They're going to notice it. You're going to get agitated easier. You're going to get, you know what I mean? Like they're going to notice it, and it's just going to affect everybody. And it's just going to be like a ripple effect.
Yep.
And you're yelling at the kids. They're acting up because you're yelling at them. They don't understand why you're yelling at them. You and the wife are arguing because of it's just negative energy. You're arguing over bullshit. None of it's relevant. It's just you're arguing kind of just to argue just because of the energy that's around you.
Have you ever like kind of went down this road?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I think it's different, and it's not a very acceptable stance when it comes to things like this.
Right.
But I'm like I said in the beginning of this, brother, I want to look deeper than at what is in our face all the time.
Yeah.
Right. This stuff can be in our face all the time. And I can talk about the things in our face and what's true and what's false and what's this and that. And it's like, whatever you want it, whatever's true to you, dude, is true to you. All right.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I want you to have that truth.
Right.
So what I want to do this year and just going forward is focus on the deeper meaning as to how we got here.
Yeah.
Right. Like we can sit and argue about, I can sit here and argue about politics and who's running what and all that, dude. Like I could do that all day. Like it's not something, but where am I going to go with it? What's it going to do for me? Right.
Yeah. No,
you know, like,
I agree. It's
thought provoking, and I will obviously continue. That's not where I want my mind to
more
be.
in depth into
Self,
but like stop like the surface bullshit, because a lot of life is just surface.
Yes, most of it.
It's not close people. It's not family, immediate family. It's like acquaintances. And you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
We're not even really, it's like at that. So
like when you're growing up, like, oh, I know 1,000 people.
Yeah.
You got like 5 friends, you know, like close friends that you can call and rely on, and like they'll be there.
Yeah, dude. I remember
that, you know what I mean? But I got 1,000 acquaintances. I grew up, I know tons of people. But would I ever call them for something? Fuck no.
Yeah. It's actually really doing this podcast, dude. I only had a few episodes last year, dude. I never actually got the ball rolling. And you know, I'm not blaming it on anything. That's my fault. Like I could have definitely did more to get more episodes, to get more people.
Yeah.
And that's what I did this year. Like that's what I did, dude. I keep saying this year. I don't mean like this. I just mean right after Christmas.
Yeah.
When I got really settled into this house. I was like, I'm doing this, dude. This is what I love. Like I'm nervous in the beginning. Yeah. I'm always nervous to do these, but once I start flowing, it's like then I'm done. Then I hang up and I'm like, damn, why did I enjoy that so much?
Right.
All I did was talk and listen.
Yeah.
Talk and listen and think. And it's like is it one of the only times that I'm actually fully in the moment. Yeah. Like fully locked in to what is going on right now when I'm talking. I'm not on my phone. I'm not scrolling. I'm not just getting distracted by what's on TV. I'm not hearing Maeve and Liam, everybody calling my name at the same time. Then getting calls from my mom. Like it's just, I'm zoned in. We're having a conversation with people that are so far, everybody's been engaging. And it's like, this year's going to be different. And I want to change this podcast from a selfish standpoint is to make my life better. And I hope and I pray that by doing that and having all these different people on and bringing you on will help a lot. And then having all these different guests on and not strictly talking about like, I guess having some, I don't know the word, like a very like diverse things to talk about, like having guests on that I have no clue about.
Right.
And then getting those things out there to show my vulnerabilities, to show people that like, not just because what you think of me through my avatar person, right? That's my social media is not me. That's my avatar. That's a different person there, really.
Yeah.
Like I only type certain things when I see them, and then I type it out.
Like trigger people.
Yeah, it's a mixture of both, dude. Like I'm definitely guilty of specifically typing things to
You're
trigger
over there like
people.
this.
I definitely am, dude. There's definitely times I do that. There's definitely times where I was literally like very angry, like really angry at what's going on. And there's times I was really upset with what's going on. There's a lot of times that it was legitimately empathy.
Right.
But that's the thing, right? Like that's not really me. If me and you were on Facebook having this,
Right.
we won't ever get to this point.
No.
We won't hear the context. There's no context to what anybody's saying, right? So, you know, when people are like, the book's better than the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's because you can add your own context. You're creating your own vision of that book. You're taking words and you're creating the story up here.
Yeah.
So then when you go to watch the movie, it's like, huh? That's not how I saw it.
Yeah.
It's probably not exactly how the author saw it either when they wrote
like,
it. It's
like
how the director saw it.
It's like when you're texting somebody and you say a certain thing and they misread it completely.
What up, bitch?
Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, yeah.
What up, bitch?
Yeah.
And you read it. What's up, bitch? What the fuck did I do? Right?
Yep.
But that's the truth, dude. That's what social media did to us.
Yeah.
And it's a shame, dude, because I like. So I'm having I can't wait, dude. I really am very excited for this. But Pat Bryan's gonna come on tomorrow. I don't know if you'll be able to come on or not.
Okay.
We're doing it at 6. So if you can come on, come on. But Pat has been like, I see him posting all these things on Facebook all the time. And it's always very positive.
Right.
And it's always and now he just started doing these things with like giving these tips on lifting and like correct positioning and just better ways to work out that are just better for your body, right? It's things that I was doing wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man. And I'm like, I'm not going to tell him he's wrong.
Yeah.
Right. He's been doing this and dedicated himself since I can remember. He has changed from high school to that.
Right.
And you don't have social media, so you probably don't know. I don't know. You know his brother probably pretty good.
Yeah.
But like, so when I reached out to him, he's like, oh yeah, dude, I would love to. And then I guess I don't know if he went through my Facebook or went through the episodes, and then he said he ran into people at the gym. I'm not gonna say their names. And he's like, yeah, can we not talk about politics and like COVID, like keep that out? And I was like, dude, I'm not like, that's not my goal.
Yeah.
But it looks that way from the out. It does.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, it definitely does. And I was talking to Chris. And I think the main thing is I was never able to get anybody that has an opposite view than me on. Nobody will come on and talk to me. And that's like, I would love to. Yeah. So if you're watching this and you disagree with everything I've ever said or anything I ever say, like, I want to talk to you and I don't want to attack you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think like people really think I'm just going to sit here and attack them. That's not who I am.
Yeah. It's it's not that like you want to attack them. You just want to hear a different point of view, different thought processes.
That's it.
Because like a lot of people, it's just, they don't think for themselves and they're saying something that they heard from somebody else.
Yep. I used to do it.
And that person read it on social media. You know what I mean? It's like, and it's not that you're attacking someone. You might be challenging their thought process, but it's not like attacking them. It's more so I'm making you think a little harder, think a little deeper. but I'm not attacking you personally. Like I'm just challenging your thought process. My wife does it to me all the time.
Kristen does it to me.
Literally all the time.
I'm only this way because of her. It's all her fault.
And it's not so much like sometimes like I do get offended and like I shouldn't, but like I'll feel like I'm being attacked even though I'm not. It's like
And it takes a little bit of time.
so for her, she's constantly challenging your thoughts.
Yep.
To make you think of different scenarios or different angles on whatever topic you're talking about. And like she gets it from like her dad. I think it's a Greek thing. Like they love to debate. They love to challenge thoughts and beliefs and just to kind of pick your brain and make you think outside the box. It's not like they're attacking you personally. And you do the same thing. And like it's never to be meant personal. Like it's never personal.
No, ever.
But
Ever.
in today's society, a lot of people are very sensitive.
Yeah, and I feel like
it's not like what we used to freaking destroy each other, like with like jokes or whatever, like growing up.
Yeah, dude. And now
we would
like
say off the wall shit, and
yeah.
You can't do that now.
Yeah, man. That's why I actually like love where I work, because where I work, it's very small, and you know, we are able to communicate in ways that are like not, you're not really concerned of somebody going to try to get you to lose your job.
Right.
Like today it's like you say something or do something slightly that you might not even think was bad, and somebody's calling for your job.
Yeah.
It's like, why? Like what? Why do you want to get people fired? Like,
yeah,
you know, like people are losing their jobs, and it's not just the job they're losing when you lose your job.
Yeah.
Right.
And
you
like,
lose a lot more.
The one thing I've said this before, it's one of the things that bothers me almost not the most, but it bothers me is when people get offended on behalf of the other person. Oh. The person that it's about isn't offended, but this person over here that has nothing to do with it is offended for them. And now they're causing a problem and escalating the scenario for no reason.
And dude, if you want my honest opinion on a lot of that stuff, is, you know how like in today's world, do we live in a world where we're like, it's experience based. It's like, this is my experience, so who are you to say that right. It's not real, right? But at the same time, then you say, okay, well, how do you know that I feel this way then, right? Like, so you have like a lot of people that are always like, a lot of, especially like these politician straight white men that would be like, I'm an ally of the LGBTQ. And then if you're like, well, I'm just like me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to label myself as an ally of, right? But I love everybody. And I think you should do you. I think your truth is your truth. And who am I to tell you that it's not right?
Yeah.
I can question why you believe that. But when I'm doing that, I'm not telling you you're wrong or need to change anything you're doing. You can just continue to do what you're doing, and I will do it. I don't care. I really don't. But then you got them people doing that, and they're like, well, if you're not, then you're racist, or you're a homophobe, or whatever, transphobe, or whatever. And it's like, well, if you're saying that, you know, that's because that's how you think I feel that way.
Yeah.
Maybe you gotta look inside of yourself, because when you're telling these people that feel like oppressed and they feel like people are beating them down, and then you're just telling them that I'm beating them down more,
right?
That beats people, that beats them down even more.
Yeah. And it makes them like not want to do certain things in life that they might be really good at, or they might really enjoy or love,
because I'm holding them back.
And because of that, now like they won't do it. Like some like kids in sports, you know what I mean? Like
that's exactly.
You have like a negative parent, not that kid's parent, but a negative parent, and it's going to make this kid not want to play anymore.
Yep. It happened to me, dude. Like when I was I remember when I was a kid, my parents like they were just always on my side. They wanted me. They just and I know now that I'm a parent,
Yeah.
right? Like watching Liam play sports and stuff.
Right.
But like I won't repeat it, and I don't know if it's good or bad because I don't know the other outcome yet. I just know
Right.
the outcome of what happened to me.
Yeah.
But like it was always I was the best.
Right.
I was the best. That kid shouldn't be in. I should be in. And
Right.
like in my mind, I'm like, so I am actually dude, this thought just came into my head right
Right.
now. So what you're trying to say is it doesn't matter how good I am, I'm going to get screwed over all the time. Subconsciously, maybe that was what happened. I don't know.
Right.
But seriously, it's
No,
like
yeah.
so you're saying I'm the best and I'm still not getting this and that.
So like what
So
especially
what?
with me
I
and
I,
hockey,
I don't have a chance.
like with me and hockey, like it was I knew I was good. Like my parents, like they supported me and stuff like that, but like yo, like they would let me know. Like if I had a bad game, like they'd let me know. Like yo, you played like
It,
shit.
that's important,
Like I
man.
don't know what you were looking at out on that ice, but you weren't there. Um, and like they would let me know. Like my
Do,
mom, my dad, like they both would do it. Um,
do you ever think they did it too much? Because I think that could be negative too. I feel like
I don't,
I
I don't
think I
think so. It
really
was only like when like and like looking back, like all right, yeah, like they like that, like the one game like specifically that I can remember. I just like my head just wasn't in the game that day, and like I let up like a weak goal, and like my mom's like yelling over the glass, and at the time, like you just get frustrated and pissed off. You know what I mean?
yep.
And but like at like looking back, I'm like, yeah, like I just wasn't there. Like I was playing like shit. I
Yeah.
wasn't playing to my potential. Like I know how good I was. Um,
It's hard to see
yeah,
when you're not a selfish person.
yeah, yeah.
True or false?
True.
You're too I really believe that, dude. I think as a kid, I think you were the same way because you were always a very nice kid, dude. Like when we were
Yeah,
kids, you were always just mellow and like laid back and just a nice person, like a
yeah,
genuine nice person. And then when people take advantage of you,
yeah.
it changes you and it almost makes you feel like, well, if I'm being taken advantage for being this nice person, then I don't I'm not a bad person. So what am I supposed to
Like
do? And then you
that
just
was one of the
escape it.
things.
I feel like I did that so many times, dude.
Yeah,
And like, thank God I fought George.
yeah. That was one of the
It
things growing
saved
up
me.
that was like I was a good kid. Like I was a nice kid, a very respectful, especially like friends' parents and stuff like that. But like there was houses that like I wasn't allowed over just because of things that they heard. Like the parent, like they didn't know me. They never got like sat down, like talked to me. But just because of things that they heard, like in the neighborhood or whatever, like I wasn't allowed over this person's house. Or you know what I mean? Like I wasn't allowed to hang out with everybody because of like certain things.
I think, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think if you look at those parents, because my parents are the same way. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
So it couldn't have been me, right? So my parents would be like, "Who you were with? Who? Oh, you can't hang out with him no more.
Yeah.
You know."
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like, well, who was it? Was it me? Was it him? Was it the combination of because we were together? Like,
And like the crazy thing was is like 5, 10 years later, those same parents, I'm smoking weed with them. I'm
yep,
I'm selling them weed.
yep,
Like, you know what I mean? Like it was like looking back, I'm like it was so messed up because like
so
at the
weird.
time, like you're still like developing and like it hurt me. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like you don't even know me and like you're judging me off of something that somebody said and I can't do certain things with like my friends because of it.
Yep,
So
I
like no,
agree.
I gotta either like stay home like by myself or whatever the hell the case may be because of it.
So, what did you when that would happen to you, like when you would hear it for the first time? Do you think that your immediate thought, or I shouldn't say your immediate thought, like was your inward thought and feeling that of like feeling bad and like kind of making you sad, and then like somebody had to have told you that. So what was your expression out to them? Was it like the opposite, just to not
Yeah,
look like a bitch
yeah. To like make it seem like it didn't bother me. Like, all right, whatever. Like, I'll go do something else with like whoever else.
and like laugh it off,
Um,
right?
yeah. Uh, and like growing up, like I always hung out with like older kids, and then like it was like it was weird. Like when I was really young, I hung out with kids like a lot older than me, and
Yeah,
then
me too.
as I got older, I start to like go down, like start to hang out with kids my own age. Um, and I guess like there are a few people in the neighborhood that their first time ever like getting high or whatever was with me.
Uh,
I'm sure there's quite a few people that could probably say that. Um, but
definitely,
like,
dude. Definitely. You definitely got a lot of people high for the
I
first time.
never peer pressured anybody ever in my life. It was always like, if you don't want to do it, that's fine. Like I honestly don't care. It's more for me. If you want to do it, you can do it. Like I'll show you whatever the fuck, like ease you into it. But I'm never gonna peer pressure. Like hit it. You gotta drink this. You gotta do this. No, like why would I do that?
I,
Um,
I don't think we had to,
we
especially
didn't.
like you were older than me, right? And I don't, dude, I don't, I mean, like I said, my memory's shot, but like I don't remember the first time I met you. Do you? Remember the first time you met me? Because there's people I taught, like I did the
The
very
first
first time
time
I
I
tried to
don't.
do a
I feel
podcast.
like it was like I feel like it was like eighth grade, maybe freshman year. Um,
I think it would have had to have been freshman, dude. Maybe
and then
eighth grade. Did you ever hang out with like Kenny and them at
yeah,
all?
yeah,
Like and the at the crates and stuff?
yeah.
So maybe, but
And then like I think we started like really like hang out when I was, I think a sophomore. You were a freshman for
Mhm.
that small window of being at Ryan.
Yeah, that's short. Very
With
short lived.
with that ex.
Bree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
She looks like she's doing pretty good. I'm friends with her on Facebook. She looks like she's doing pretty well there.
like they were like those were like I like some like the first like memories I have. Like I'm pretty sure we met before that. Like you said, like at the crates and stuff like that, like in the neighborhood. Um,
Isn't it weird to think about though? Like I don't
yeah,
remember. It just
I don't either.
I don't know how it happened. But so where I'm trying to go with that is like peer pressure in a way is I feel like peer pressure has that stigma attached to it. Like do this, do this, do this. No one's ever came up to me
Yeah,
and been like, do this, do this, do this.
yeah,
It was more me battling in like it was more me and that was my conversation I was
right.
having with myself when the people I perceived as being cool or perceived as being tough, like when they were doing things, that's the conversation I would have with myself.
Yeah,
It was do it, do it, do it, or don't do it. You don't want to do it, but what are they going to think? Like that was going through my head.
yeah.
I don't
Even like
remember
with
a
us.
single time somebody coming up to me and being like, do this
No,
ever,
neither do I.
ever. So like I never went up to somebody and said, do this.
Yeah.
It was just
Oh,
like, look,
you're a bitch if you don't hit this. Like that's never happened to me.
right. Like the younger kids, the every grade up would just see what we were doing
Yeah,
and try to mimic it
right.
almost.
Yeah.
Right. Like
Like
that's why Parkwood
we
stayed the
would
same for
drink
so fucking long.
we would drink all the time together, and like I would usually have like weed or whatever on me, and I'd be like, "Oh, you want to smoke?" You'd be like, "Nah." I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna step out back or whatever,"
Mm-hmm.
and like I would go smoke and then come back in and continue drinking, playing darts, cards, whatever.
Yeah. Well,
And
I couldn't smoke or I'd be fucking wrapped up in a ball and
I
quiet.
know.
I didn't want to ruin my good time and getting drunk by getting paranoid.
I know.
I don't know how you do it, dude. I don't know. That was the worst feeling ever.
You
Weed.
you would get used to it, but I mean, it was never like we would never peer pressure each other, and like I even like when I would hang out with the older kids, like
I,
they'd be like, "Oh, you want to hit this?" I'm like, or like, you want to take a sip of this?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm good." They'd be like, "All right." Like
I,
you're like hanging out with the older people. They would never like peer pressure you.
I shouldn't say that. Like, people have never been like, dude, because when it comes to like shots or chugging beers or like things like that. But at the same time, it's like I was already doing all of that
Yeah.
stuff. It's not
Yeah.
like this stuff was new to me.
Yeah.
It was just like I was already pissed drunk, and you're like, take this
Right.
shot, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like, so I guess I shouldn't say that. What I mean is, there was never somebody that came up to me for doing something for the first time and was
Yeah.
like, "You never did this? Do this. Do this."
Right.
That's never happened to me, you know. But I've definitely probably came up to you with a shot. I'm like, "Come on, chug this beer, dude, or take this shot." Like,
Yeah.
I've probably done that, but it's all because we're already doing it. It's not like
Right.
it's,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's not like, and I don't want to be alone. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want to be an alcoholic by myself at that point,
Right.
by any means, by any means. So I want to go back to the selfishness thing. And what do you think? I know you said you talked with Lenny um, about like you focusing on you for the
Right.
better of all of your family, right? So when you look at when you brought up that I moved here
Yeah.
for my family, not for like myself,
Right.
where part of it was for me too, because the reason, like, I can say that this is better for my kids. I don't really know. I think I know, right? But at the same time, it's like I felt so much pain for my kids that I didn't want to feel that pain anymore either.
Yeah.
And it's like I was so powerless. It was nobody, like, people would not listen. They didn't care what you had to say. You were just wrong, and you have to do this and follow it. And I stopped. I stopped all of that stuff because of I just stopped complying altogether, dude. And people be like, "How are you getting into places without like masks?" And I'm like, I just got this that right. I just do it. And I was at a point where, because in the beginning it was hard. People would always be like, "Put your mask on," and
Yeah.
and I'd have to make up an excuse or something, and then I feel like something switched where it was this confidence that I walked in with,
Right.
and people wouldn't even like acknowledge the fact that I walked into this building
Yeah.
because they're like, that I don't want that trouble. That's going to be trouble.
Right.
And it wouldn't have been, but I just walked in with this confidence, like I'm doing, this is what I'm doing, and I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But to go back even more, but if you look at the situation of me moving out here, there's people that think I did this selfishly without taking other people into consideration, because I couldn't bring everybody.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying here? So
Yeah.
like I left, I moved 11 hours away, and it's like I'm being selfish. And people think that, like, people
Yeah.
think that, like,
No, I believe me, I get it.
you know
It's
what I'm saying? So like
yeah.
so just because you don't see it as selfish and you see it as me doing the best for what is best for my family, it's like I look at it, it was a selfish move. But if I didn't make this move, the people I love the most, and the people I love the most, man, I'm constantly preaching, like, you have no idea what it's like here.
Yeah.
It's different. It's a new world. It's not, it's a dude, I can't explain it. You're going to visit and you're going to see it
Yeah.
and be like, damn, you're not kidding.
I mean,
It's
like
like
for
the
me,
energy here, dude. It's positive, the energy. And it's not really explainable. You can't really see it, but you'll feel it
it's like I love my family
to death, to death.
to death.
Yeah,
Do
dude.
anything for them. But at the end of the day, like moving down there, right? So like if that was me, I moved down there for me and my family to be happy and to like I don't want to regret like, oh, I stayed here for like my family and
Bingo.
I never took the jump to move down there, right? Or move anywhere, California, anywhere. So I'm gonna have that regret in the back of my head for the rest of my life. And I'm gonna stay here. There'll be moments of happiness, but there's always gonna be a piece of me that's gonna be regretful and sad.
What
And
about the
miserable
opposite?
and like miserable, right? Because I stayed here not because I wanted to stay here. I stayed here for everyone else to make them happy.
Which makes you selfish.
Yeah.
So again, isn't it a good and bad thing? But here's the difference with
But at the same
this.
time, like going down there, it's like I I need like I'm not trying to live miserable. I'm not trying to be unhappy. Like I want to be happy. I want my family to be happy. I want, you know what I'm saying? Like I
You want
don't.
progress. You want progress,
Yes.
right?
I
That's what
need.
I want.
I like staggered say so if I stayed here, right? I've stayed here. I've been here my entire life. So 32 years. My entire life has been here. Yes.
My entire family,
So like
generations.
I and like then like my questions like those people that are like, oh, you're leaving us. You're you're not you're gonna have support. You're not just because like you were scared to
Do it yourself.
you don't know what else is out there. All you know is this. Like, yeah, I get it, like family and everything, but like what like for you, it's like what is the plane ride? 2 hours, if that,
Yeah, hour and a half.
you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Flights are cheap.
Mm-hmm.
If you're scared to fly, yeah, it's a little ride, but
I did it, man. I drove. I
you
found out
can knock it out.
my mom's cancer metastasized and
Yeah,
left work and fucking drove fucking 12 hours.
yeah,
You know, like I did what I had to do, but it came from the same point of regret, right? So in that moment, because here's the thing, I waited to do this move until until my mom.
it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's been 3 months. Boom, metastasized.
yeah.
What do you think my first thought was?
Regret.
Regret.
Yeah,
Immediately. But it didn't hurt as bad as I thought it would because I've already weighed that as a consequence.
but would you have had even more regret if you
Yes.
left and came back?
Yeah. Yes. And that's what I'm trying to get at, right? Is because that was a consequence I've already chose. So like either decision, you're gonna suffer and you're gonna suffer.
Yeah,
Something's gonna happen where you're gonna suffer from it. So by the feeling of progression and the feeling of real freedom is being able to choose it yourself. And which one am I willing to choose? And I feel like trusting what is happening here, what's telling, like constantly like saying, do this,
right.
is the thing I need to do. Right. Like that's the thing I need to do. And it's harder to do because it's something I never did. It's usually something that I never did before.
You know, like you could stay down there for a year or two, whatever. And if it doesn't work out, you can come back. Your whole family's here. It'd be easy to come back and pick up and keep it moving.
Exactly. And that's what I wanted to ask you. So you said that like if you were thinking about moving and you're like, oh, I want to move, and then you didn't do it, you would live with regret.
Yeah.
What if you move and then, and then you didn't like it, you didn't do this? There's a consequence of that same feeling, correct? So why choose
Not
one
really,
over the
because
other?
I went down, like I tried it. You know what I mean? Like I took that leap and I did it. It didn't work out. It is what it is. I don't have any regrets. I did what I wanted to do. I took that leap of faith and made that big move. And it just didn't work out. I know I could easily come back here with all my family and stuff like that and almost pick up where I left off if I need to.
Which is that what?
I might be living in a different house, but
And then what though?
I know I could come back here and get a job. That's not an issue. I know I could come back here and stay somewhere. You know what I mean? Like that'll never be an issue.
And is that what you that's the same thought process I had, right? And that when I said to myself, when I come back here, I know I can get a job at a bank.
Yeah.
I know I could do this, right? And
Like
I'm
even if
like,
you want to
wait,
do something different, like you and like me have family members that have like businesses and stuff like
yeah,
that. Like I could work for them.
yeah.
I could, you know what I mean? Until I get onto my feet to
But is
make
that
some
what you want?
like,
Like, that's not what I want. I don't want to go back to where I was. That's why I left. That's why I'm trying to move forward. I'm trying to
it's
progress.
not it's not what I want, but like if
I don't
I
even I
just
don't even
just
have
say I
that.
moved down there, it didn't work out, I came back. It's not what I want to do, but it will keep me afloat. It'll put me in a position to until I make that next chapter in my life.
Yeah.
You know
I
what I
let
mean?
I let that
This will always be like home base. You know what I'm saying? Like I can always come back here, regroup, and then keep it moving.
I had that feeling up until I moved, probably a week, a little bit before I moved, and I completely let that thought go.
Right.
It's not happening. It could happen in the future. I don't know, but that's not going through my head. Like
Yeah.
in my mind, dude, every day I wake up, I'm waking up earlier and earlier every day since I've been down here. I'm working out more and more every day since I've been down here. I'm eating better more and more every day since I've been down here. I'm doing things because I absolutely have to, or my family's on the street.
Yeah.
Like I have nobody here, bro.
Right.
First time in my life, I am somewhere where I got full responsibility. I have no attachments. So everything everything that I attach myself to is intentional. It's consciously thought out.
Right.
And I'm doing it in a way where I get to recreate. I lost everything I had basically, dude, making this move. Literally lost almost everything that I have gained. Everything just gone. And I got to restart over.
Yeah.
With more knowledge, with more experience, with more hope, with it's just I'm done dwelling on that past, man. I don't if I need to go back, it's going to be because I need to go back.
Yeah.
It's not because I'm not looking at it like a backup plan. I don't have a backup plan. My
Right.
plan is today, kill it. Kill today. Whatever. I don't care how I feel, dude. I'm going to just everything up until sleep. And then I'm going to kill that. I'm going to get my goods. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
everything, brother. Like everything has been getting so much better, but so much fucking harder.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't see. That's what people don't see. The more positive you start seeing me on here and seeing me posting, like the more I'm suffering all the time because I'm literally making sure that I'm suffering. Because if
Especially
I'm
down there, it's like like you said, like you have like what you have in that house right now. That's it.
that's all, man.
And
I spent so much money to get here. I spent so much. I got
like here, like down there, like you're grinding. You are grinding day in and day out to make it.
that's all I can do.
Like if you were here, like you wouldn't have to grind as hard. You know what I mean? Like
That's a fact.
you have connections. You know people. You know what I'm saying? Like you won't have to carry the weight that you're carrying. But at the end of the day, when your head hits that pillow, you're going to be like, this fucking sucks.
Yeah, man. 100%. Yeah, it feels like no progress.
It's
Dude,
just
I was destroyed.
very monotonous. It's day in, day out, over and over again. Like it's the same thing over and over.
Groundhog Day, brother.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
That's all I was doing. I was telling Kristen, like even now, what I'm doing with insurance,
Right.
it feels. Some days I'm like I'm in a fishbowl. I'm just swimming in a
Yeah.
circle. I'm just calling people. I'm just dialing. and most of the time, most people don't answer. So all I'm
Yeah.
doing is sitting there all day,
Yeah.
just ring every day, just dialing. And by Wednesday, I'm like, man, what the fuck? I'm just sitting, I'm just doing this. And then like I meditate. I'll go to the car. I'll go in the bathroom. I'll close my eyes and I'll meditate for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is, just to stop those thoughts. And I'm back at it with a new mindset of like, this time that I'm doing right here is important because I could just sit here and watch the clock.
Right.
I could do that. I could sit here and just watch the clock, get to 5 o'clock and go home and then sit down and then watch the clock, get to 10 o'clock, go to bed and watch the clock and just do that repeatedly again. Or this is what I got. I can make the most of this. And then if I keep doing that, you're just, things will get better.
Yeah.
But it's hard.
Like,
it's hard.
Like we've talked about it before, like what we're trying to do and build, and it, like where we're at right now, it's just kind of like a stepping stone.
It's going to happen.
It's a stepping stone to put food on the table, roof over the head, you know what I mean? Take care of the kids and the family and stuff like that. And until we reach a certain point,
I'm almost there, by the way, dude.
Until we reach a certain point,
I'm almost there already.
We can go, thank you for this opportunity, but I'm moving on, and here's my letter of resignation, and I'm going to go work for myself, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's why I also love what I do, because what I do right now, like the guy I work for, like the goal is for me to take over my own agency, right?
Right.
So like we're already on the same page that this isn't a forever thing.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's a forever thing. He knows it's not a forever thing.
Yeah.
I'm definitely dedicated to him for X amount of time. That when we first discussed a time frame of how long it would take me to get my own agency, and it may not be an agency that I go after at that point, but I don't know how it happened, dude, but I just had that thought. And I was like, this is what I want to do, man. This is what I love. I love coaching. I love coaching kids. I do. And I've been looking it up more and more. I look it up every day, dude. I've been looking it up every day.
Right.
And then I found all these like franchise things. And I was like, why would I have to pay? Some of them are like 25,000, 50,000, whatever.
Yeah. Some are expensive.
But I'm like, why would I have to pay that? And what are they giving me? And it's like, okay, so if by paying that franchise tag, you're getting the marketing, you're getting their name.
Yeah.
But like, that's it.
Yeah.
So like, why not spend my time instead of money figuring out how to market this? I've been calling rec centers. I've been calling like community centers and trying to figure out, hey, what's the cost of renting out the rec center for these hours? Like what? And I'm like, really? $50 an hour?
Yeah.
And they want $25,000 to help me find the place? It doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, that's how they got in business. They saw this.
Yeah.
They see what I see. And they were like, I don't want to coach, but you can pay me and I put the coaches in place.
Right.
And they saw it and they jumped on the opportunity, and they, some of them are pretty cool. And, I didn't completely cross it off, but I have time and I'm trying to just kind of explore that whole thing to see, different options.
Right.
I should say.
No. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I definitely get it. It's
I think that would be awesome if I did.
Yeah.
If
I mean,
I had
I
this
wouldn't want to
podcast.
do the franchise thing either. You know what I mean? It's because that's like you're kind of like you're working for yourself, but you're kind of like still abiding by someone else's rules.
Exactly.
Which like you're doing this to be your own boss and abide by your own rules and your own morals and your own thoughts,
Yep.
not by somebody else's.
Yep. That's the reason to get out of the
Yeah,
workplace in general. But that, again, that's why I like where I work, because
yeah, yeah.
um, the people there, that's what they believe in as well. They think that, um, just because I think something morally wrong doesn't mean that you do, or it's like, I understand, but we'll question each other and
Yeah.
have conversations, which I think is pretty damn cool. But what I've been doing with them franchise things, dude, is every time they call me, because they call me a lot.
Yeah.
I should never
Hey,
submit
once
it.
you start looking that shit up, they're blowing you up.
Dude, I submitted way too many things, way too many, dude, because they call me all the time. But some of them I'll like pick up. If I'm on lunch or something, I'll just be like, "So what do you do? How do you do that? Oh, what systems do you use?"
Right.
And I'm like, all right. And then I'm looking up all that stuff myself.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, all right, let me think about it. Da-da-da. And they'll call me back. I'll do it again. Like, all right, let me think about it. And I'm just taking information. I'm
Yeah.
basically using their, because whatever they did to start this, dude, somebody did what I'm trying to do.
Right.
So whatever they're trying to sell me, I can do myself.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why with the fervent wealth thing, dude, I I was on a roll, dude. I created that whole like website. I did all that. I wouldn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't enjoy calling, cold calling, meeting, like putting people's financial plans together. Like, I don't know. I enjoy helping people with that stuff, but I would
Right.
not enjoy doing it. I don't enjoy doing it every day anymore.
No.
I don't enjoy it anymore. I don't I don't know about you, dude, but like I think the biggest impact that any adult on this planet can have is to inspire kids,
Yeah. I
right?
mean, for
Like
me, like with the medical, it's like I don't regret stopping, I guess you could say.
you're my doctor, dude.
Like that's like I have like I did it for 12 years. Like I have a
You,
lot of knowledge and
you really do. You and Eleni have.
so I don't regret it. Like I really did enjoy it. I loved it. That's why I did it for 12 years. The past couple of years, with like the whole COVID and it just I didn't have the love and the passion that I had before. Like I
Yeah,
used to love going to work, and then like I started to like dread going to work, and like that's when like once that started, I knew that's when I started looking at different options, different uh ventures outside of the medical field because I was like I started to get very jaded, and it just wasn't there anymore.
and it's. Would you say that was an easy thing for you to do, to start looking like
No,
outside of the medical field?
no, because I knew like me being me, it's like it was the easy way out. My resume spoke for itself. I didn't have to try and find a job if and like especially in the medical field. Like I could literally go into any place, hospital, urgent care, doctor's office. I mean, there's some of them that I'm like extremely overqualified for, and I would get hired.
Yep.
I've seen and done things to where like I could easily go into any medical facility and get a job.
What do you think was your like breaking point? Like, could you pin it down to anything specific where you were like,
Yeah.
this is it?
Um, so like it was like the COVID thing, but then like the final straw was the support get like from my old employer. Um they were throwing like it was kind of like a bullshit little bonus, or like, oh, we're going to give you a 1% raise. What if I'm not making $100,000 or more? 1% is nothing.
Mm-hmm.
1% is absolutely nothing. It's a slap in the face is what it is.
Doesn't even keep up with inflation.
I'm grinding. I'm working 50, 60 hours a week. People call out. I'll be there in 20 minutes. Let me get dressed. Let me get a shower. I'll be there. I did it for 6 years at the last employer. Would show up constantly, work doubles, work freaking 6 days a week, 14 hours a day. And like their appreciation was, oh, they would give you like a $20 gift card to Wawa. What the fuck am I supposed to do with this?
Well, you accepted it 2 years ago and you were happy.
They didn't offer it a couple years ago.
That's what would happen to me.
That was the thing. So, and like when like shit started to hit the fan, across the country, around the world, and you're doing all these hours, people are getting sick, people are calling out, people are quitting, and you're like I was a trainer. I trained people on how to do the job. I bent over backwards for like this company because I really, in the beginning, I really believed in it. It had that family atmosphere that they really cared about you. Some upper management changed over those 6 years, and you slowly start to see certain things. They started to get like cheaper materials. And then like I got 6 years invested in this company, and you're paying the new person that's walking in the door with zero medical background, zero. I had 6 years prior to that 6 years. So like you're paying them 50, 30 cents, if not the same amount of money I'm making with 6 years invested into your company. There's no way that should be possible.
Yep.
So now I'm demanding for more money.
Yep. And it's a shame,
And then then like I started like kind of like a little revolution with multiple other people in my center that have been there for a long time. So then they're all emailing upper management, and then they had the audacity to send us all the same generic email. And of course we showed it to each other saying, oh, we hear you, we appreciate your time and your effort, but no, we can't give you more money at this time.
Yeah.
Okay, well then I can't give you any more time. And that's when I quit.
Okay. So do you think it was actually the money that bothered you the most?
Yeah. For me, yeah. Me personally, absolutely. Because I could literally do that job on 0 hours sleep. It was very mechanical and like muscle memory. I know what I'm doing, and I'll do it better than anyone else there. I guarantee it. I'll put my money where my mouth is, and I guarantee it. And
so let me ask you this. Do you think you would still think it's about the money if you had no idea, or if everybody else was making less than you? Say significantly less. You were making the most, and they were doing the same exact thing with you have the same salary, but you don't know what other people are making, or you think you're making significantly more, and this was all happening, then would it still have happened? Like if you didn't know that other people were
right.
making more or equal to you, would it have mattered that this was happening?
I think it would have. So like for me, like I dabbled pretty much in like every area of the company. So I knew a lot, especially finances, how many people they needed to see per day to break even, what the numbers were for them to meet a certain mark to cover all the employees for that day and materials being used, right?
And profit.
So we're seeing the number to break even in the first couple hours. So then the next let's just say 10 hours is all profit, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you got 80 centers on the East Coast. And I know some of the other centers are seeing less, but there's other centers that are seeing double, triple our numbers. Like some of like the more rural centers were seeing 200 a day plus every single day, all year round. And it's only because the community would prefer to go to them than the hospital, because that's how bad the hospital was out there. So like I know kind of like around what you're making, at least off of our center personally. And you can't give me a little raise.
And here's where
the year before that, you didn't give anybody a raise.
Mm-hmm. And this is where
this
is what I'm questioning.
You supposedly didn't take any help from the government whatsoever.
Yeah. So this is why I'm pushing you on this, because when I was at TrueMark, I felt like I loved working there. Like that was my favorite job ever.
Right.
The people, the company, the atmosphere, everything, dude. It was a good company to work for. It felt like how you're explaining the beginning of your time with this center, right?
I loved it so much in the beginning that I didn't think I was ever going to leave. I knew I was going to like
me either, dude.
Step down to like part-time, get a job at a hospital and do like the whole ER thing, ICU. But my foot was always going to be in that door, whether it was flex or part-time. And then I was going to come back and retire and coast into retirement. That was the plan.
Yep. I'm with you 100%. I thought my career was at TrueMark. My mentor, I won't say her name because I don't know if she wants to be mentioned, but my mentor, she was my manager. Very great woman. Very kind of almost probably where I got this mentality of questioning everything.
Right.
Because the way she coached was like, why'd you do that?
Yeah.
And it's like, what do you mean why? Like attacking the feeling of being attacked, but not really being attacked, but her making me think about why I was doing and saying the things I said, even if I did it right. Like if I did it better than expectation, it's still like, why? Because if you don't understand why you're saying things and doing things, you become a machine and you do it for like everybody. It's not really helping you. It's not helping anybody.
Yeah.
So and that's why I really thought I was going to stay there. One, because she was there and I was constantly like trying to mimic her. I always had like these, I always like went to her for like guidance on things. Right. So when I went there, I was part-time in a call center, not the call center, in her branch. She hired me.
Right.
I was part-time representative there and started moving up. Right. So then I become full-time. Like, oh yeah, me that day. Then I become what was called an MSR2, which is just like another step up.
Yeah. Like
now I got like keys or something. Right. But no like supervisor role, just have like a little bit extra responsibility. And then I get from MSR2, now I get to be assistant manager. Right now I'm like, damn, manager, huh? Like that title, dude. Like I'm making it.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like I'm making it for like a day. I got that feeling because you always think that that's what you need to feel a certain way. And then you get there and you're like, well, hold the fuck up. I thought I was going to feel like I made it, but I only felt like that for a second, if a second. I don't even know if I ever actually felt it. So then I get in there and I'm at TrueMark. I'm an assistant manager. And then my MSR2 left and somebody else was so the lady in my branch who was just a teller or an MSR that wanted to be an MSR2. She wanted to take that spot. So HR comes to me and says, here's her salary.
Right.
This is what we're going to offer her. I open it up and I'm like, this is more than what you're paying me. And her face dropped like, shit. I was like, you didn't look at that, did you? I lost it, dude. I literally came in the next day and put my 2 weeks in.
Yeah.
I was furious. They tried to keep me. They said they can't change things till the next year. Da da da. So this whole time, I think this is about money, right?
Right.
I'm like, I need more money, more money, more money. This is what I think at this time. And then I left. I went to Key Bank. I got licensed for all that investment stuff. I'm learning again. I'm progressing. I'm feeling good. I got a good manager. I'm really close with the financial advisor there. He's the one that got me the job. So I'm progressing. All right. And then I get financial branch manager, a licensed branch manager. Now I'm licensed running my own branch.
Right.
I'm like, this is fucking awesome for a day. And then it wasn't so cool anymore again. And that's when I started to see that, like, it wasn't really about the money. It was about me not feeling valued for everything that I do.
Yeah.
And the money is a way that represents my value. Right? So when it comes to the money, it wasn't really about the money. It was just like, you don't value me, do you?
Yeah.
Just tell me that you don't value me and that I'm replaceable and you don't really care.
Right.
Right? Like, that is what it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't the money, because I never thought about the money until I saw the money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I felt the value. I felt all that. And then I seen the money and I'm like, hold the fuck up.
Yeah. That was like kind of like the final straw. You know what I mean?
But it got me thinking about, why am I doing this? And then when I went to, and I'll say this dude's name because he's a piece of shit. But when I went to, he was a piece of shit, dude. When I went to, and I'll clip this part and send it to him. Dude, it was the worst thing. I can't even think of the bank's name. I hated it so much. Jesus Christ, dude. What was the last bank I was at? I'm just drawing a blank. So my boss's name, the lady that got me the job was an old manager of mine at Key.
Right.
Great woman. Seriously, like one of the nicest women, and like respectful, like person that you could really be in that kind of position. Because you do still need to have some aggression. You still need to be real. You still need to give bad news and all that. But she was very like respectful and helpful and cared. So she's the one that actually brought me and got me this job.
Right.
So I get in there, dude, and it was during COVID, so like I didn't ever meet him in person. It was all phone call interviews and stuff like that.
Right.
And so I take the job. And this is right when COVID just got like peaked, and our branches are all closed. I never met anybody in the branch. And now my dad got sick.
Okay.
Like it just all happened just like that. So now I really don't want to work.
Yeah.
I was driving so far away because I was going to move closer, like down towards Delaware area, because that's where it was at. So I'm making this drive every day, dude. And I'm doing like a terrible job at my job. I am not going to sit here and lie to anybody and say that I was like killing it and got fired for fucking no reason.
Right.
Nah, dude, I wasn't, I was not being the best that I could be.
Yeah.
However, I also wasn't doing things that I didn't believe in. So I would talk, and I think this came from where my mindset was with where like being valued and like all that crap. And this is where I learned, like, I'm going to live out my morals no matter what. And this is where I got like that started to become braver and speak up and not just be like, okay, all right, I understand. Yeah, I won't do it again. Sorry. And then do it. Right. Like that's where I was all before this time.
Yeah.
This time, this dude, and so I got written up because of some crap, so everybody in the branch did not like me. Almost every one of my employees almost hated me. Okay. They all were very, they all like hated Donald Trump. They hated him with like every bone in their body. Right. They would talk about it every day. And I was somebody that wouldn't wear a mask. So now I'm a Trump fan. Yeah. I'm like, I'm voting for fucking libertarian. So I don't care, but I'm not wearing I'm not wearing a mask. You don't understand. I wasn't able to go see my dad yesterday because of this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing the mask. So I won't wear the mask. I won't tell people to wear the mask. I'm going to do that shit. And that's all because, again, I couldn't see my dad. So whatever, when my dad passed away, I was out for that week. I came back to work, dude. And the day I came back to work, I worked the full day. The next day, he comes back in the office and he says, we need to talk. And he says, how you feeling and all that, whatever. And then he says, I know your dad just, his name's Sean Killen. And he's sitting there. He's like, I know you got a lot going on and everything, but like we hired you and we're giving you a salary to be here. And I was like, I said, my dad just passed away, dude. Like, I know that before this, like, I was getting in some trouble and wasn't really doing the best, but like right now, this is what you're going to come to me right now and tell me that I need to be here. I said, you're wrong. I said, and you're not going to speak to me like that. I don't know who you think you're talking to, but I'm not just anybody.
Yeah.
And where you're wrong in that statement is I accept your salary to be here. I accept your salary, dude. If you don't want to give it to me, I'll leave. Go ahead. Let's see what happens here. Because I don't think it's going to go down well with your HR if you fire me right now. And he's like, I'm like, I told you I'm not just anybody. My old man just passed away, and you ain't going to sit here and throw money at me.
Yeah.
Fuck your money.
Right.
Fuck your money. There's way more important things I value. I'm not like you, and I don't value money more than I do my family.
Yeah.
So fuck you. What's up? What do you want me to do? And 3 weeks later, I got the boot. But that's when I learned, dude, like they don't care.
Yeah.
These corporations will pretend they care. They'll sit there and tell you they care. You'll get an award at the end of the year for doing most sales.
Yeah.
Slap on the back. Good job. Hey.
That's what happened with the old employer. Was when I first started working there, the old man had started the company, went around to every single center, talked to the employees, what they loved, what they didn't love, what could be done to change things. He cared. He cared about you and your opinions and your thoughts.
And did he do stuff with it?
Yeah,
because that's what's
he would walk around with a little notebook and write everything down that you said.
And that's like the lady I was saying that got me the job at.
So then
Fulton Bank. Fulton Bank, Sean Killen.
Okay. So then as the years went on,
a little rage held up in me there.
His kids took over. He kind of just became like the face, but he kind of like stepped down. And his kids took over. And once they took over, it didn't have that family feel anymore as months progressed. And you start to notice certain things. And then it was more so, you're more of a number now.
That's all we are.
That's it.
Especially now, bro.
And like once I started noticing that, that's when I was like, okay. So like I still did my job as best as I could, but at the end of the day, it was, you don't care about me, so I'm not really going to care about you or your company.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to do me and do what I want to do. What I'm going to do what I am getting paid to do, but at the same time, like I'm still going to goof around. I'm going to go take a break. Because normally you don't get a break, especially if it's busy. Like you're lucky if you got to run to the bathroom because it's freaking crazy. You don't get to sit down and eat. Well, guess what? I'm going to go sit down for 20 minutes and eat my lunch. And
all the patients are watching me do it.
Yeah.
That's, like that.
So like,
I could see that you're that kind of guy. And then you see patients who have to do it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It got to a point where, and then like, so that's when like the whole thing started. And then it got worse as the time went on. And then the whole money thing,
Don't you think the money is that though? Like if you really think about it,
that
like
was like the final straw. You know what I mean? Like,
don't you think the money could be like that? It's possibly that just because that's what they want us to value, so we value it.
yeah.
And then when you realize that they value that person more than
And
they
like
value
in my
you,
head, I'm like, you're gonna take a raise from everybody here, all the people
yes.
that are making you the money. You're gonna take our raises away. You're gonna take our bonuses away, but you're still making $1 million a year. Everybody on that upper board everyone's making over $1 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
How about you take a pay cut? How about you give some money back to the people that are making you the money?
That's the only way they can really show value, right? And I think if you think about what you just told me, you didn't even look at the money when the dad was running the place
No.
because he made you feel valued,
Yes.
correct?
Correct.
So when they stop making you feel valued in other ways than the paycheck becomes important.
Yeah. Oh,
because that's the only way I can tell that you're valuing me now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So like, I'm just trying to say, I don't think that, and this is my opinion, but I think most people think it's the money.
Yeah.
And people want you to believe it's the money. But I don't think it's the money. I don't.
No, I agree with you. The money's a bonus. If I love my job and I love what I do and I feel appreciated and I feel needed, the money's just a bonus.
Yeah, you don't think it's just weird at the moment you think about the money. Like that's where I started to, when I was reflecting on all that.
Yeah.
It's like, at what point did I start to focus on what everybody else was making and I was making? And it was like,
Yeah.
this
Especially
doesn't,
once you start to see it.
right. But why was I searching for it? Right. Because it doesn't
Right.
just happen. I like mine,
So
I feel like just
for me, like I wasn't searching for it. It was like I said, like I got multiple years invested into this career. And then you got this young kid, 18, fucking zero background. This is their first job ever. And of course, like they don't know any better. They're young. So like they start telling people like how much, I started out at X amount of money. You know what I mean? They always tell you never tell anybody, but like they're
you
young, they're
should.
dumb, they don't know. You know
No,
what I
but
mean?
you should.
Yeah.
Fuck that noise. You're allowed to tell anybody what you make, and you should.
And so like that's what happened. And I'm like, okay, that's weird, but okay.
And it hurts, right? Because the same thing, that's kind of what happened to me.
And then that's when
Almost
like
the same
I would sit
scenario.
down like with my manager or whatever, and like my supervisor and be like, what's up? Like, uh, you fucking kidding me? I'd like to see a kid uh choking on something or dying right now, or old person having a heart attack, or and then I want to see what this kid's gonna do. They're not gonna know what to do.
Nope. Yeah, I agree with you, brother.
And they're making the same amount as me.
I agree with you, brother. I agree with you, brother.
It's crazy.
It's time to that's why I decided not to go back into the banking industry when I got here and decided to go this insurance route because I have control. My money that I get paid is based on what I do. I get paid a salary, but I can see how much I know, like when I bring things in, how much money I'm bringing the agency. So like, I know if I'm valuable to the company or not, just by numbers. There's not many industries that you can see that, right? Like, even if you like your where you were working, it's like somebody can walk into that building. They have no idea how much money that they are actually worth. They don't know their value, right? Like you can't see it. You feel it. You can't see it. I can see, am I valuable to this agent? Am I making him what he's giving me back? And then everything after that is mine. So
like that's the crazy
it's just
thing.
different.
Just because it's like a medical supply, they're going to charge you an arm and a leg.
I
They're
know,
going to charge you $40-something for an ACE bandage.
And
I can go to Rite Aid right now and get one for like $2.
Do do you, because I think about that a lot, and everyone's always talking about like health insurance. We need health insurance. Da, da, da. Like, it's not really the health insurance. It's the fact that can I call that place and be like, yo, how much is it to do this?
Yeah.
And they would give me a
Well,
price.
so that was the thing. So I think now you can do it in Pennsylvania. They have a self-pay list. In Jersey, they had to. I believe it was law for in Jersey that like if you called and asked for a price for something, they had
Is
to
it,
give it to you.
but not a hospital, right? Hospitals don't know. Like, I can't call
They
them to
don't
every.
know. They won't know until
You're,
it's like they're billing it. You know what I mean?
which is terrible.
Yeah,
If I was like, how much I would have, I'm having a baby, I should be able to call up all the hospitals and get a price
yeah,
on that,
you should.
right? Like, and it could be an estimate. It's like, hey, if you
Yeah,
have the baby and
15 grand. You know what
without
I mean?
complications, X, and that way I could shop around, which would have to make hospitals become competitive,
Yeah,
which would mean hospitals would have to all lower
yeah.
prices to stay competitive. That you don't have that anymore. You don't have that.
No, no, yeah. Like at our place, like it capped out at a certain number. I think it was like $300. So if like you didn't have insurance, you were paying out of pocket, you your visit would cap out no matter what you got done at $300. So you can get x-rays, blood work, this, that, and the other, and
You couldn't charge more than that.
you couldn't charge more than that. So that was the one good thing that I did
Believe it.
believe
That's
in.
that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's like I did really like that. It was, I mean, like if you had to get like medication, I think I don't think it fell under that. Or if you had to get outside labs, like so like if we drew your blood for like certain things, just say like STD testing and stuff, like all that gets sent out, right? Um it wouldn't, like we would only bill you for drawing the blood, and everything else you would get a separate bill from LabCorp or Quest or wherever your blood went to, from them. But we would 99% of the time be like, especially if you didn't have symptoms, if you just wanted to get your 6-month yearly checkup, we would be like, yo, go to Planned Parenthood, because the HIV test alone is like $800
Oh, damn.
just for that one test.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's
That's
insane. The amount for some of these tests is just, it's out of, you're looking at for everything, everything, syphilis, the whole nine, couple grand.
That's a
But
little.
if you went to Planned Parenthood, it's like a flat fee of like $100, $80, whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But that's right. So by doing that, by knowing the cost, it creates competition, which
Yeah.
gives a place, there is somewhere you can go to get it a little cheaper. And we don't have that in our hospital system, which is a scary. They just do everything
Yeah.
and then they bill you. And some of the things that they bill you for are absolutely outrageous. I mean, it's all
Yeah.
like, it's a whole nother conversation, but
Especially like the hospitals, it's all about money.
skin to
It's
skin,
all about.
skin to skin contact.
And it's like you said, like they just do
It's
it,
my
and then
skin.
you get a bill for it. But like I didn't ask for that.
Dude, skin to skin contact. You didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
It's
Oh yeah.
my baby and my skin, and it.
Same with same with like the ambulances. Like when I used to work on an ambulance, like you learn the prices of certain things, and like just the ride alone is like anywhere. If you get like a private ambulance company, or like if you get like 911, it's like $1,000 just for the
Yeah.
ride. Just for the ride. If they don't touch you, do nothing. It just for the ride. You could live 2 minutes from the hospital, $1,000.
Yeah, it's crazy expensive.
And then it gets racked up real quick when you have to be hooked up to a machine for the EKG machine. They're going to freaking charge you for each sticky. They're going to charge you for oxygen. They're going to charge you for the tubing. They're going to charge you. It's out of control. They're going to charge you for the blanket that they use to keep you warm. It's out of control.
It's unnecessary. It's not the insurance's fault. So like, I just think people need to stop looking.
Yeah.
That's not. I mean, it can be that
Like the
might be
insurance,
part of it because they can overcharge to get money from the
like, the only
insurance.
thing I
but-
don't like about the insurance is like, so you pay as like we're young, like we're fairly healthy. We don't really have any issues. We pay year after year into this health insurance, into the whatever, and we don't really use it. You know what I mean? But year after year, we pay into it. But then, like as we get older, now shit's starting to happen. We're starting to fall apart. We need it. Now they're denying shit. I just paid 15 years into this insurance, and now you're denying it.
Brother, they're
There's a whole
increasing.
team. There's a whole team of people. That's their job, is to figure out ways to deny people.
And they are currently, you know how like the whole Affordable Care Act,
Yeah.
no discrimination,
Mhm.
great. The same people that push for that have now increased premiums on insurance if
Yeah.
you're not vaccinated for COVID.
Yeah.
What?
Like that's the only thing. Like insurance is a good thing, and like it helps people, but like
Insurance agencies run this fucking country, brother.
yes, they really do, and it's a shame. So like I said, like there's a whole team that their job is to figure out different ways to deny you
Yep.
for like how can I get out of not paying for this person's surgery? How can I get out of like I'm paying you, just fucking pay it.
Yeah, I don't know how you even take that job. I don't. Look, I've kept you for a long time here, dude. I want to touch on
Yeah.
another thing here. Coming on and joining the podcast.
Right.
What is it that you want to get out of this? Like, what is it that
Just growth, not knowledge growth, talk to different people, different walks of life, and just learn, you know what I mean? Have fun with you. I think we're gonna have a blast.
Yeah, dude. I
Um,
love doing this. I
it's
learned
gonna be a good time, man. I'm excited.
I'm very excited, dude. That's why I talk so much this episode because I haven't done it in a while.
Same.
I just like to I love it,
Like,
dude.
it's just gonna be like it's new, you know what I mean? Like I talked to a few people about it. Who was I talking to? The one warehouse, the one company that we get some of our materials from. I was talking to him, and he was like, last time I seen him, he was asking like how it was going and shit. Like,
Yeah, babe.
so like,
Spread the word,
it was
dude.
pretty cool. But yeah, it's new, it's exciting. And like I said, like it's just I want to learn different points of views, different opinions on certain things, and it'll challenge me to look at it from a different point of view. Because like me being me, I get it from my father. I'm very stubborn, very locked in and set in my ways sometimes on certain things. And to be able to think outside the box is going to be really cool.
Yeah. We only know what we know. And if we don't experience something new, we'll never know anything different.
Yeah.
And then that's when you're trapped on that Groundhog Day.
Oh yeah.
When you're not willing to open your mind, dude. And I lived there for a fucking long time. A very, very, very long time.
Yeah.
So I'm excited, dude, to get you on and